Tamarack, my good man, it's me, Lawrence. I write this now at the beginning of the letter rather than at the end, in the hope that this letter should find you and you can read it in my voice, so that a part of me might make it back to Norclo. Things are looking awfully hairy out here. That Professor Dodona wasn't kidding when he visited us. He said a great storm surrounded the Olympia region, and by gosh, he was right. As I sailed my ship towards the heart of the storm, I heard the cry of a Pokemon, and sure of it, and just then my ship capsized and the storm took me. The Snabble I brought with me are okay, but I must say, they weren't too fond of going overboard. I went splash like a rock myself. I was lucky to wake up at all. I'm not currently on the mainland of Olympia, but I seem to be on some island that I say I've not seen on any of the maps we were provided. But when I washed up here, a fellow named Animos gave me a place to rest up. He is being incredibly generous and kind to me, almost as if the storm was somehow his fault. But I digress. Tomorrow I will explore this little island, and then before long I'll head off to Dodona's lab. I'll give him your kind regards, and hopefully what they say about the Tempest isn't true, and I can be back in the soft, snowy area of Norclo before long. I hope this letter finds you well, Tamarack. Cheerio! My dearest Tamarack, when I first washed up on this island, I spent longer than I intended in this abandoned village. The place is really called Kakarios Town. It's Animos' home, but the mainlanders of Olympia just refer to it as the abandoned village. Quite puzzling, given that there's quite a community of people that live here. They're a rather peculiar group of people, and it's not just the people. I found a new friend that I call Hermite. Hermite is a ghost Pokemon, and it's some sort of, well, hermit, and it'll trade out pebbles with others of its kind, and it seems those with the biggest pebbles are seen as the highest on the social ladder. And what I love about this little fellow is, much like my Mortosaur and Fangray that I left back in the gym, oh, I do miss them, that Hermite has a connection to fossil Pokemon. See, since reaching Dodona's lab, I've learned that they evolve if you give them access to the fossils of the Kanto region, the Dome and Helix fossils. I have personally dubbed these Pokemon Kabutops and Omen Star. Wonderful name puns, I think they'll catch on. Oddly though, these Pokemon don't seem to respond to other fossils. Hermite seem to be very picky. It would seem at first to be rude of Hermite, that it might disrespectfully move into the skeleton of another Pokemon, but the longer I look at it, the more beauty I see in it. This ghost is doing nothing more than recycling a part of nature. The Kabutops and Omastar don't need their fossils anymore. In fact, these Pokemon never lived around these parts. The fossils have simply washed here from Kanto over the generations. No, they have no use for them. So Hermite grabs these fossils and repurposes them into a new home. The Tempest still rages, my dear fellow. It's been months. I wonder for how long this will be my home. But something else has piqued my interest. Dodona has told me of another Pokemon that may be related to Hermite, but not an evolution. He has described to me what it looks like, and I have decided it will be known as Scarodactyl. More research to be done. Tamarack, my friend, do you remember the fossil in the Pewter Museum? An Aerodactyl skeleton? That's right, they had constructed it at the Cinnabar Mansion. You know, the creepy place where all sorts of rumors about Pokemon experiments happened. That island is quite peculiar, I tell you. Anyway, it was a breakthrough in fossil and genetic study, a full Aerodactyl skeleton. Well, it is this shape that the mythical Pokemon Scarodactyl takes. That's right, I say mythical. Much like the relationship between a Carbink and a Diancie, this Pokemon appears to be connected to Hermite, but has not become a direct evolution. Its origins seem to be completely unknown. So Dodona and I have classified it as a mythical. Furthermore, there only appears to be one roaming the island, but it flies not around the skies of Mount Olympia, no, but instead sleeps like a bat in the tunnels of Mount Olympia itself. I think I should soon venture into the Olympia Passage and see if I can meet this Pokemon. My dear friend, Professor Tamarack, can you believe it's been a year and on the horizon a tempest still rages? This island is quite peaceful and I think I may be here for some time, and that wouldn't be so bad. Professor Dodona has taken me as his underling, and while I do miss Norclo, all is well. There is just one thing that bothers me. That Pokemon I mentioned before. I do hope these notes have been arriving in Norclo. Scarodactyl. I think I saw it once. Its amber body glistening under my flashlight. Its screech scared off some of my Snebble who went missing into the passage, and then it disappeared deep into the caverns, and I have been able to determine that it is a rock ghost type just like Hermite. That screech! It was spine-chilling. Scarodactyl, it gives me nightmares. Its body being this golden color like the amber that contains the DNA of an Aerodactyl. I found such amber down a well on Route 2, but something so small couldn't produce a whole skeleton. How would such an evolution even work? Scarodactyl seems entirely unlike Kabutops and Omenstar. I've tried giving old amber to my Hermite, but it just doesn't evolve. Further proof of this Pokemon's mythical status. Dodona and I are even beginning to doubt if these species of Pokemon are related at all, but it shares the same face as my Hermite. How can this be? To conclude, my dearest friend, Professor Tamarack, this will be the last time I write to you. The seas are rough, and the chances are none of my messages have washed up on your shore. Ho ho! It seems more likely that they're just stuck in a stream somewhere else on this island, waiting to be picked up by some passerby trainer. No, I say this is my last time writing to you. Dodona tells me that he sees this storm will last at least 5 more years. So he has set me up in a hut of my own just off Rumbletown. While I still have a fascination with this fossil Pokemon, I would rather like to learn more about the starters of this island. Did you know one of them, Twiguana, was thought to be an extinct species, but here in Olympia they can be found bathing in the sunlight from time to time, though not in the autumn. Trickletown is beautiful though this time of year. The trees turn a bright orange, and the nights come sooner, being ever so cozy. My Hermite and my one Snebble that remains keeps me company in my studies, and my home is warm. Still, there is something stirring out there in the darkness, as if awoken by the winter breeze that is coming, the cry of a Pokemon. Not the one that capsized my ship those years ago, but the one I saw in that cave. Scarodactyl. It may sound like a goofy name, but don't let it deceive you. I sometimes think I hear that screech coming from the Olympia passage. I know, somewhere on this island there is the lair of this beastie. When I first arrived here in Olympia, I met that man, Animos. He spoke of legendary Pokemon and how one started this Tempest. He also taught me valuable lessons. The darkness, the chill of the autumn turning to winter, that these unexplained lost evolution, these Pokemon terrors are somehow part of nature. He said, never forget this. Terror is terrifying, but it is also terrific. I shall continue to reside here on Olympia, but it'll take a trainer much braver than me to return into the foot of Mount Olympia at night and face whatever terror lives within. Goodbye for now, your dearest friend, Professor Lawrence.